Tax law affect you? Should you be doing anything to take advantage of the changes? Many business owners ask us what is one thing they can do to make sure they are not leaving money on the table. No one wants to pay more taxes than they have to. We often hear, "I didn't know I could do that." Call us now to see what you can do before it's too late. The first meeting is free. Call 414-325-2040 now. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040, or visit us at nealgroup.net. That's NEAL group.net.
Diamond stud earrings are the Christmas gift that shines brighter than the tree.
If she already has a pair of natural diamond studs from Kessler's, bring them in and we'll give you 100% of the price you pay.
When you trade them in on a larger pair of diamond stud earrings.
That's been our policy for more than 30 years.
We have diamond studs from $198 up to $40,000.
And we have 0% financing for 18 months with approved credit.
And 0% is a really low interest rate.
Some people say that 0% is the very best interest rate.
Diamond studs always fit perfectly.
They never go out of style.
And you can wear them with anything.
If you want to trade in her old natural diamond studs from Kessler's on some bigger diamond studs from Kessler's,
go ahead and pick up her new ones today.
And you can bring in the old ones after the holidays.
Come to Kessler's.
Bigger is better. And blue diamonds are you diamonds.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you and our holiday hours, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Week 15 of the NFL kicking off tonight. The Buccaneers will be hosting the Falcons. Packers gearing up as they'll be in Denver, taking on a Broncos team that has won 10 in a row. Green Bay wide receiver Kristin Watson.
It's going to be a playoff atmosphere, obviously a playoff caliber defense. So, that's the type of games we're going to get down here in the stretch. So, it definitely is. It's going to be an exciting one.
3:25 kick Sunday at Mile High. The Milwaukee Bucks, after 5 days off, they'll be back in action as they'll be on their home floor tonight against the Celtics. Bucks have lost 2 in a row, and they're just 2-8 over their last 10. We'll have coverage tonight starting at 6:30 here on WTMJ. Wisconsin women's basketball rolling to a win yesterday over San Diego, 74-46. Badgers men's hoops got thumped on the road, 90-60 against 23rd-ranked Nebraska. Let's take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. A bit of an issue 94 eastbound right at 35th Street. Part of the right shoulder is blocked there because of a disabled vehicle, and that's our construction zone, so causing a couple of problems there. And also some slowdowns 94 as well if you're heading westbound. Some of those starting right through the stadium interchange. And also issue 41 southbound. You're seeing some slowdown starting at Good Hope until you get past Silver Spring there as well. This report sponsored by Marty's Pizza in Delafield.
Remember, Marty's Pizza.
Right off I-94 and Highway 83 in Delafield.
And your WTMJ forecast. We will see sunshine, some increasing clouds as we move through the day, a high getting up to just 21 degrees. Tonight, there is a slight chance for maybe seeing some snowfall, a low down to 14. Those snow chances continuing into Friday, could see around an inch of accumulation, highs in the mid-20s, and then we really cool down as we go into the weekend. Saturday, slight chances for some flurries, cold conditions, only a high of 8, wind chill will be below 0, and that's the same on Sunday. Will be mostly sunny but very cold, only highs in the single digits, and again, those wind chills well below 0. Right now, it is 18 degrees in Madison. We're sitting at 20 degrees in Sheboygan and 19 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristin Brey.
Hello, hello. Steve is still not here. Steve is still enjoying the sunshine. We were texting a little bit yesterday. He is very much enjoying his time off. We miss him. He'll be back on Monday, and we'll be here actually for the rest of the year, although I think he has another vacation the first week of January. So, we'll do his time for a little bit. But welcome to Point Taken, another candidate in the race, in the Democratic race for governor, announced this morning. I'm sure If you've been listening to the guys this morning on Wisconsin's Morning News, you've heard that Joel Brennan has made it official. You probably know him from his weekly hits on Midday News with Greg and Jessica. He's going to be there again today. I forgot exactly what time he's going to be on, but I think he's doing his normal, whenever he's usually on is when he's coming on today. He will be on our show tomorrow at 11:35 after Joe and Bill depart for the day. I'm sure we will get into it with Joe and Bill as far as how this changes anything, their analysis thus far after this will be a week and a half after Barnes has gotten in, a day after Joel Brennan has gotten in. So very crowded, what it means, how it will change. The way, at least at first glance right now, and I'll get into it more with Joe and Bill tomorrow, it seems very crowded more for the moderates than for far to the left, which I think will be interesting because if we end up having this many people on the primary ballot, that's a lot of different ways for the vote to be split, and you don't need that many. I mean, what is 100 divided by 8? So you're going to need somewhere between you could win for somewhere between 15 to 20% of the vote and walk away with it, which is why I know a lot of people do not like the idea of ranked choice voting, but in these kinds of really crowded primaries, is that the most popular candidate if they end up winning with 20% of the vote or 15% of the vote just because there was that many people in there? Now, as Bill loves to point out, in 2018, when we had a very crowded primary with Evers, he got 42%, which in that crowded of a primary, I would say does feel like a pretty close to a majority. But we will see. It is a long time from now. We will find out numbers for fundraising in January and what that indicates. But certainly will give us a lot to talk about as the race goes on and the year goes on. But one of the stories I think we're going to spend a fair amount of time this first hour on is something that I wanted to talk about last week with Steve, but we just didn't get to it because there's always a lot of news. But it's the topic of ultra-processed foods, which I feel like is something that pops up every once in a while, actually probably more often than not. There'll be a new scientific research on what it does to our health, or the fact that, we talk about food deserts and all these different things and angles of ultra-processed foods. And there was 2 stories from last week that I think touched on this. And the first was, I don't know if you heard about this. I actually don't know if any of the other shows talked about this, but a VP from Campbell's Soup. So I don't know if you heard this story, but the vice president of Campbell's Soup Company has been fired after a secret recording revealed him ranting about bioengineered meat and the poor people who buy the product. So there's a lot of bleeping out in the audio that was leaked on this. So I'm going to play it, and then we'll talk a little bit more about, I'll try to interpret what he actually said.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour-long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
Yeah. So that was a VP from Campbell's Soup. It was like an hour-long tirade. It was secretly recorded by this man, Robert Garza, who was an employee at Campbell's. But, he says things as far as it's bioengineered meat made by a 3D printer and the poor people who buy it. And so the Campbell's Soup Company has disputed this claim about the product. Their press release on this was, quote, "We are proud of the food we make, the people who make it, and the high-quality ingredients we use. The comments heard on the recording about our food are not only inaccurate, they are patently absurd. We use 100% real chicken in our soups. The chicken meat comes from long-trusted, USDA-approved U.S. suppliers and meets our high-quality standards. All of our soups are made with no antibiotics ever meat chicken meat. Any claims to the contrary are completely false." Does that statement, I don't know. Does that make you pause before you're going to go buy Campbell's Soup again after hearing the secret recording versus the official press release in response to the secret recording? And this is just one example. And when we come back, we're going to talk about an actual lawsuit, because when it comes to ultra-processed food, is it personal choice and personal responsibility for what we're putting in our bodies? Or do we need lawmakers or the FDA or some kind of regulations to get more involved? Because 70% of the food available in grocery stores is considered ultra-processed food. And so now San Francisco is taking a stab at holding the companies that make this kind of food accountable. Is that a good thing? Will it work? I don't know. We're going to talk about more about how San Francisco and the Maha Nation are coming together after this.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Hi, this is Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management. As we head towards the new year, I want to extend a heartfelt gratitude to our listeners and to our clients. Thank you for your trust, your partnership, and the conversations we get to have every day. From all of us at Annex, we wish you and your family a safe, joyful, and meaningful holiday season.
Investment and retirement planning, along with tax and estate strategies. Get financially organized for the new year. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Whoa! What are these? Screamin' Sicilian loaded breadsticks. Available in 2 great flavors, cheesy garlic or pepperoni. Both delicious. Screamin' Sicilian doesn't play around. They're fully loaded breadsticks that come in their own bakeable tray.
Dang! Woo! These are next level. Are they the main course?
Nah, just the appetizer. Find Screamin' Sicilian loaded breadsticks in your local grocer's freezer section. Screamin' Sicilian loaded breadsticks. Bring the party, bring the flavor.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show. Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. Steve is gone until Monday. We miss him dearly. But our topic for today is something that actually happened last week and I've been sitting on and wanting to talk about, but ultra-processed foods. Now, I guess technically there isn't a legal definition of ultra-processed foods at this point, but you can imagine what it is. It's chemicals, it's preservatives, it's food that is not always good for us and readily available, and is something that, at least as a mom, I feel a lot of guilt over how much my kid already just only wants Kraft mac and cheese. And sometimes the easiest thing is to just give it to her versus never having introduced it to her in the first place. But it's not only just what I'm feeding my kid, it's also just as someone who's on the go a lot, how much I know I'm eating ultra-processed food all the time out of convenience. And that's nothing to speak of the fact that it is often cheaper. And so as of right now, ultra-processed food products comprise 70% of the American food supply and fill grocery store shelves with, you know, the packaging, the kaleidoscope of colorful packaging that feels, it was interesting, like taking Frankie to Walmart and just seeing a 2-year-old of like what she gravitates to purely off of packaging and it being things she's never eaten before. So it's not like she recognizes the food. It's just, this is something that she's like, oh, I want this. So, you know, we're thinking Slim Jim meat sticks and Cool Ranch Doritos. But it also is bread. Like one of the things Mike and I have been talking about more recently is not trying to get real bread from like Breadsmith or Great Harvest or somewhere where bread's actually made fresh versus the bread aisle at the grocery store. So, you know, I think about this a fair amount because is it simply, this comes down to a lot of consumerism. Is it simply a question of self-control? or do we need lawmakers and regulations on these types of foods that were being sold? Well, last week, the San Francisco city attorney filed the nation's first government lawsuit against food manufacturers over ultra-processed food. So they are arguing that cities and counties have been burdened with the costs of treating diseases that stem from the company's products. So David Chu is the city attorney, and he's suing 10 corporations that make, the country's most popular foods and drinks. So we're saying these are the 10 companies: Coca-Cola Company, PepsiCo, Kraft Heinz Company, Post Holdings, which is a cereal maker, Mondelez International, which makes Oreos and Chips Ahoy, and they also name General Mills, Nestle, Kellogg, Mars Incorporated, and ConAgra brands. And what's funny is, like, when you think of these 10 companies, they make almost all of the food. There's this one TikTok account that I follow where he would take a picture of a grocery store aisle and then end up showing you how many of these different brands are actually just owned by the same company. And so this is basically all of the major food companies. And so the lawsuit is seeking to unspecified damages for the costs that local governments bear for treating residents whose health has been harmed by ultra-processed food. And the city accuses the companies of, quote, unfair and deceptive acts in how they market and sell their foods, arguing that such practices violate the state's unfair competition law and public nuisance statute. And they're also arguing, which will be interesting to see how they prove this, that the companies knew that their food make people sick and sold it anyways. And so it'll be interesting to see how much this follows the same lawsuits against big tobacco companies. Because what we know so far about ultra-processed foods is that there's research that links these foods to obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and cognitive decline. And the cancer thing, I think, is super interesting because since I even started back at WTMJ on this show, the rates of colon cancer in younger and younger people is now showing links to ultra-processed food. That's going back to why I'm like, maybe I should have some more fruit. But it's interesting. I mean, I find this interesting because the reality is, so like processed foods go back to like the 1800s, and that was truly out of convenience at one point. Because like during World War II, if you think about soldiers going off to war and having shelf-stable food and canned meats and things that were actually out of necessity, and finding scientific ways to make food last longer out of necessity, that's kind of where this came from. But then in the 1970s, the country had an excess of corn and wheat, and they turned those crops into cheap ingredients such as high fructose corn syrup and modified starch. And that was the turning point where companies heavily marketed ultra-processed foods to children. And this is the introduction of Tony the Tiger and Count Chocula and these mascots that help sell this food. And then this is the part that I think a lot of people don't know, is that tobacco companies, including Philip Morris, diversified their holdings by purchasing major food companies in the 1980s, and they used the same marketing techniques they used to promote cigarettes to sell ultra-processed foods. So there is a link to tobacco and what do we want to call it? Big ultra-processed foods. So I don't know, like, it'll be interesting to see if this lawsuit can be successful. Because I'm old enough to remember when Mike Bloomberg tried to crack down on supersize soda in New York. And there was a big, let's say, libertarian backlash of not wanting the government to tell you what to do. But if we get to the point where this is truly making us sick, how is it not different than some of the drug companies, like the opioid settlements? And so this office specifically, the San Francisco City Attorney's Office, has had success in other public health matters and public health lawsuits. So they've won $539 million from tobacco companies, $21 million from lead paint manufacturers. In 2018, they also sued multiple opioid manufacturers and got money from that. So it seems like this lawsuit is following the same grounds as some of these other public health matters. But I don't really know, like, what is the goal? Is the goal for them to pay out and be able to help with health costs? Or is there a push that we need them to actually change the recipe of their food? Because if we get so used to being able to buy this stuff, but if we don't really have control of what goes into it, and there's not that many other options, because like I said, there's 10 companies that own almost all of the brands at the grocery store, is this lawsuit leading to, we need you to actually change how you make your food? So I would love to hear from you as far as what you think of this lawsuit, if you think it's government overreach and the market is the market and people should be responsible for what they put in their bodies, or if it's something that you actually think we need interference from to hold companies accountable. 855-616-1620. We'll be back with more after this.
Hi, this is Joe from Sidex. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who entered our recent giveaway. We were blown away by the response, and it means a lot to us that so many of you participated. Even if you didn't win, I want you to know we're still here for you. At Sidex, helping people love where they live inside and out is what drives us every day. So from all of us at Sidex, thank you for being part of something special. Sidex, love where you live inside and out with windows, doors, baths, and more.
Do you have a spot that's too cold in the winter, but if you jack up the heat, the rest of the house is too warm? Vince Vitrano for USA Insulation. Time to get Jeff and his team out to your house. Proper insulation from USA forms a thermal barrier that maintains warmth in the winter and coolness in the summer. Time to get in on thousands of dollars of government efficiency credits. Jeff and his team at USA Insulation find the grants, rebates, reductions, and they discount the cost of your project up front. Get started at usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation. When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at wipga.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Hey, check this out. There's free pizza today at the Mine Chef Family Restaurant in Hartford. Seriously, it is free. John Mercure here. Every Thursday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza free. Buy 2, get 2 free pizzas. Buy 10, get 10 free. If you buy 25 pizzas, you'll get 25 free pizzas. Bring in pizza today for your loyal employees or for your holiday office or company party. Your employees will love the delicious pizza, and you'll love it because half your pizzas are free, saving your company a ton of money. Order now, pick up later, or dine in. Coaches, bring in your team today for the free pizza with that huge game room. It's super affordable team bonding. Don't cook and clean. Buy one pizza, get one free at the Mine Chef today. Plenty to take home for a snack or leftovers, maybe lunch at work tomorrow. The Mine Shaft is decorated with lights and Christmas characters. It is big-time fun in festive downtown Hartford, near the interstate in Oshkosh. Lots of seating, close parking. It's the Mine Shaft.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristin Brey. Steve is out until Monday, and we were talking about the San Francisco City lawsuit, the first of its kind in the nation, suing 10 different food manufacturers and arguing that they are using deceptive marketing, that they are responsible for the public health crisis that UPF's ultra-processed foods are causing because it's linked to obesity, type 2 diabetes, liver disease, cancer, and that these products are designed to be addictive and use cheap, chemically manipulated ingredients. And so one thing that I do think is interesting, and when I was reading about this from, I think it was the New York Times article that I first read this about, I've read the lawsuit article about, I don't know. I'm dealing with a sickness right now, so please excuse my brain fog at the moment. But is the interest of the fact that this is an overlap with MAHA, and it's rare that liberal leaders in San Francisco are fully aligned with the Trump administration. This might be one of the few topics where they really are on the same page. And it's one thing for me, I know on this show, Steve and I have criticized RFK Jr. a fair amount, specifically on his thoughts when it comes to vaccines. But this is somewhere where I would say I am also aligned with RFK Jr. and Maha, and that I wish he would spend more of his time focused on ultra-processed foods than the vaccine issue, because I do think this is a big deal. I do think this is a big deal when it comes to how we're getting sick, the available options, because, someone texted in saying that now that they have more awareness on this, they do check the packaging, they do check the ingredients. And for example, they said, I was looking at a package of dry vegetable soup and saw a bioengineered food and put it back on the shelf, went with a more expensive organic option just because I have been more aware of that now. And so that's great. And I think that's where responsibility comes into play. But I also think if you don't have the option to buy the more expensive food, what responsibility do the food manufacturers have to put real food in what they're making? So we'll continue talking about this, but first, ABC News and local headlines.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The Walt Disney Company and OpenAI have agreed to a 3-year deal allowing users to create short videos for social media using hundreds of Disney characters, including Stitch from Lilo and Stitch.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody
gets left behind
or forgotten.
Under the agreement, customers will be able to use OpenAI's Sora video platform to create content and draw on for more than 200 characters from the Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars libraries. A federal judge has ordered Kilmore Abrego Garcia to be immediately released from ICE custody. He is the man who had been living in Maryland and was mistakenly deported to his native El Salvador in March, then returned to the U.S. The Senate voting today on a Democratic plan to extend government subsidies to help people pay for Obamacare premiums and a Republican plan to give Americans health savings accounts. Both of the plans are expected to fail. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Neil Doyle. Jury selection currently underway this morning in the case of Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan. She's accused of helping an immigrant avoid ICE custody at the courthouse back in April. Potential jurors were given a questionnaire a few weeks ago, which has already eliminated several dozen people. The jurors will be asked another set of questions today by both the prosecution and defense. Both sides say finding an impartial jury will be a challenge. Jury selection will continue into tomorrow if necessary. Dugan's trial then set to begin on Monday. Slender Man stabber Morgan Geyser no longer in the Waukesha County Jail. The Sheriff's Department confirming she was moved to a different facility but did not disclose where. Her attorney, Anthony Cotton, has requested she be moved back to the Winnebago Mental Health Institute as she awaits her next hearing. Geyser was found in Illinois last month after escaping her group home. The state has filed a petition to revoke her conditional release. Geyser is due back in court in February. A man from Illinois convicted in connection to a store shooting in Waukegan. Now 23-year-old Caleb Brown of Lake Villa was found guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm last Friday. Brown shot a 19-year-old employee at a Dollar General store after attempting to return to the store that he shoplifted back in February of 2022. The employee suffered severe facial injuries. Brown now facing up to 30 years in jail. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. The Dow is up almost 1% at 48,522. The NASDAQ now down more than 1% at 23,393. And the S&P 500 is down about 27 points at 6,859. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Seeing a couple of issues. 41 southbound, you're backed up starting at Good Hope until you get past Silver Spring. And then some of our typical slowdowns, 94 east and westbound right near the stadium interchange. All of that because of our construction zone. And your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunshine today. We'll see some increasing clouds, high around 21. Could maybe see a little bit of snowfall late tonight, a low down to 14. Those snow chances continuing into Friday. We could see around an inch of accumulation, high of 25. And then some bitter cold setting into the weekend. Could see a few flurries early Saturday, but chilly conditions. A high of just 8. Wind chills will be below 0. Pretty much the same on Sunday. We'll see some sunshine, but temps in the single digits. Looking ahead to Monday, will be partly sunny, a high around 22. Right now, it's 19 degrees in Green Bay. We're sitting at 22 in Kenosha, and it's 20 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1034.
Looking for books, movies, digital tools, exciting programs, and more? Milwaukee County Public Libraries have it all, totally free. One library card opens the doors to all 27 public libraries in the county. Kids can dive into story times and STEAM kits full of fun and discovery, while adults can join book clubs, sharpen career skills, or take online classes in everything from tech to language learning. Head to findmylibrary.org to begin exploring libraries and open up a world of unlimited access to learning and fun.
Are the changing seasons making you crave a getaway? Let Fox World Travel help you plan the perfect all-inclusive resort or cruise vacation to escape the cold. We've got special deals with Apple Vacations, Delta Vacations, Princess Cruises, Celebrity Cruises, and more. Whether you book online or with a travel advisor, Fox World Travel has your back. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO today.
Hey, Christmas is all about family. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Create wonderful memories and take your family to the magnificent Christmas Day buffet at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, voted the best supper club in the area. It's your favorite foods, including a prime rib carving station, all the sides, a huge dessert table, and it's all you care to eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 always eat for free. The Fox and Hounds is decorated with thousands of holiday lights and Christmas characters. It is magical. A true must-see. You'll feel the warmth of those 7 wood-burning fireplaces right away. Celebrate New Year's at the Fox and Hounds. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, even on New Year's Eve. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The drive is beautiful. So don't cook and clean on Christmas Day. Enjoy your family and the incredible buffet at the famous Fox and Hounds. Reserve today. Tables fill quickly. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristin Brey. Steve will be back on Monday. And we were talking about ultra-processed foods and the lawsuit coming from out of San Francisco City to try to hold them responsible. And we had a couple people text in. Kristin, Maha is a gimmick. You won't see any lawsuits like this from RFK because a cheap bribe to the big guy will make it go away. This is an interesting point from 608. Well, then let's sue all the breweries and distilleries too. Also bad for your health and addictive. Just regulate what can and can't be in the food like European countries do. And I wonder with alcohol companies, which we also know, while enjoyable, definitely not good for you. And I don't know if it's because there are warnings that come with it. Because that was the whole thing with tobacco, right? And like the parts with the tobacco, big tobacco finally being held accountable was the fact that they needed to put warnings on cigarettes. And the warnings on cigarettes in America are still very different than the warnings that are on European cigarettes, even though I would argue that there's still more Europeans who smoke than in America. But for anyone who's gone to Europe and seen the packages of cigarettes there, it's like pictures of lung cancer that is on your pack of cigarettes to be like, just so you know, this is what you're doing to your body. And I think in America, we still have, drive safely and certain warnings that come with alcohol. And I don't know if that is a solution of having bigger warning signs on the food itself saying, hey, just so you know, this is what you're doing to your body, and not trying to say that it's, organic or healthy. I mean, that was the whole thing in the 80s when it was the fat-free fad, and they just pumped it full of sugar and additives and different types of chemicals to have all the diet fad where we didn't have any fat in anything, but they just put other stuff in there that was not very good for you and called it healthy. So I'm going to be very interested to see where this lawsuit goes and what comes from it. And I'm rooting for it. I will say that. A similar topic, still kind of on food, but more on the idea of personalized pricing or customized pricing or dynamic pricing, no matter what you want to call it. It's the tactic of each customer receiving a different price for the same product. And it's happening more and more. I think Steve and I have talked about it before with the airlines. But now there was a new study from Consumer Reports that found that Instacart shoppers who ordered the same item from the same store at the same time were still charged different amounts. And in this report, they found that 3/4 of the products tested showed multiple prices. Some swung by nearly 25%, according to the report. And so from this report, Instacart's response was that stores set their own prices and they run tests to figure out what matters most to consumers and how to keep essential items affordable. And I think there's some people who are arguing that dynamic prices can bring prices down because it's setting, based on your shopping habits. It's stress testing what you're willing to pay. Now, is that fair? Is that just the free market being the free market? And again, if you're willing to pay it, then that's what where supply meets demand. And it's interesting because I was reading in a different article about what is personalized pricing and how companies and how you can protect yourself from it. And it made the point that the history of customized pricing, if you think about it, is bargaining. And that for, much of history, customized pricing was the way that you got to the price because business owners sized up each customer and then bargained face to face. And then the price paid depended on the buyer and seller's bargaining skills and desperation. Literally, my daughter right now is obsessed with Frozen. And there is the scene in there where Kristoff goes in and he's trying to get some rope and some carrots. And he only has 10. And the guy says 40 because it's winter prices. And if anyone has seen the movie, it does not work out well for Kristoff. But, and it's interesting because custom pricing went away because it was easier for businesses to hire employees who didn't need to be master negotiators and to just have one set price. And so you can argue this is maybe going back to bargaining, a very traditional way of price setting. But this to me feels more like the Econ 101, like selling you a lemon card situation where you have unequal information and that the company has way more information about you than you do about them and your ability to negotiate. Because if you're only seeing, it's a one-sided negotiation and your only option is to either buy it or not buy it. And I feel like this is using technology to exploit people versus actually pricing something at what when you take your costs plus needing to make a profit, and that is the price. But being able to just set something and exploit people based on what they're willing to pay when the same product could be a different lower cost for someone else, I don't think is good, honest corporate behavior. But I don't know if there's really any political appetite to curb this and how you even know if it's happening to you. So the only tips I found, if you were interested in trying to apply some of these to your own online data, is so if you shop online, you can clear your cache, turn off your location, and skip the store's app if you can, those rewards that you might lose. But as far as trying to shop from a place where they have less data about you when you are shopping, I don't know if incognito mode on Chrome would work, but that could help too. Might help you getting a more accurate price versus a price that is tailored directly to you. So, all right, when we come back, we are going to do Standout of the Year. And I'm also interested, so this is day 4 of Wisconsin Morning News Standout of the Year. Who have they missed? Who would be on your Standout of the Year for Wisconsin in 2025? Let me know, 855-616-1620, and we'll be back with more after this.
Woohoo! Big summer blowout?
Education changes everything. It opens doors, shapes futures, and builds the foundation for our children's success. At City Ford Collective, we're working to transform our city's schools and ensure every Milwaukee child receives the high-quality education they deserve. We've taken real steps forward, but our work is far from done. This giving season, we're asking you to join us. Together, we can secure a stronger future for our children and a stronger future for Milwaukee. To support our mission, visit cityforwardcollective.org/donate. That's cityforwardcollective.org/donate.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life. At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work. Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. Search AXIS Legal today.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
It's a robber, and if you ignore it, it will just keep taking and taking. I know how pain can consume you. It steals the fun out of life. It steals your energy. And it's just a dark cloud over a lot of people's lives, even on the sunniest of days. But your joint pain does not have to rob you of your life or your happiness. Because at Rejuvenex, we can alleviate your pain, and that can rejuvenate your life. In a world where big box healthcare has driven pain treatment costs through the roof and has made it look like joint replacements are your only option, Rejuvenex has kept pain treatment affordable for almost anyone. And for most with insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, we've seen pain treatment paid for by insurance with zero out-of-pocket cost to our patients. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. Don't let pain rob you. Take action today so we can help make your joint pain go away.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Call today and there's a good chance we'll see you tomorrow.
My back.
Santa?
Gina Dello from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Santa's doing OT.
Let me make a call.
Frighteningly fast Pella team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
I know. Ask for a Pella gift card. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% interest for 24 months. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 12/31/2025. Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey, and all this week, Wisconsin's Morning News has been unveiling WTMJ 2025 Standouts of the Year. These are people who have made an impact in the state over the last 12 months. And before we play our next one, I would love to hear from you. Who would be on your 2025 Standout of the Year? Who in Wisconsin do you think has made a huge impact? And it could be good or it could be bad. But as far as kind of like Time Person of the Year, where it's not always the most popular person, but it is someone who has undeniably made an impact on the state over the last 12 months. So let us know who you would put on this list, 855-616-1620. But today's standout is former Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy.
The 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers, for the first time since 2002, draft a wide receiver. Matthew Golden, wide receiver. And let me get a Green Bay 3. 1, 2, 3.
The first night of the NFL Draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin will forever be an I was there moment for more than 205,000 NFL fans.
Commissioner, welcome to Green Bay. Tell us how we're doing so far.
Awesome. The event has really grown, and I think Green Bay will contribute to that.
Dude, that was the biggest party I've ever attended. I mean, it was phenomenally done.
Alex Strofe is the host of Green Bay Game Day on WTMJ.
So many times found myself going, whoa, this is Green Bay? They did this?
The idea that Green Bay, Wisconsin, that could host an event like this, man, 10, even 15 years ago, like, no way.
That crowning achievement for the now retired Packers president Mark Murphy would bring in more than 600,000 fans in total, plus an economic impact of more than $100 million across the entire state.
There were some times where we wondered whether it would ever really come to fruition. But what's really helped us was the development of Titletown.
The Titletown district, created under Murphy's leadership, brings in 1 million fans a year.
It's been tremendous. Not had a single person come up to me and say, "Why did you get rid of the Kmart?"
Murphy has even worked with Microsoft, creating a Titletown tech, forever changing little old Green Bay.
The other thing that he deserves credit for that I don't think he gets enough credit for is the way he wrapped his arms around both the area of Green Bay but also the fan base.
The one thing that I do think sets our fans apart from the other fans is that they have a vested interest in the team and the organization. So many of our fans are owners. I think we have 560,000 shareholders who are really, truly special.
Not only did Murphy celebrate an incredible run with an incredible NFL draft party in 2025, he also became UW Green Bay's first ever executive in residence. He rescued a golf course in Door County.
Runs the golf course. He's helping out at UW Green Bay. He's staying in the area where he could do whatever he wants at this point. He's retired. He can move south. He can go live on a beach. But he has chosen not to, which I think is really impressive. And we can officially call Mark Murphy one of us, which is really neat.
Well, I tell you, I am just so honored. Most importantly, I want to thank the Packers Hall of Fame. This really is an incredible honor. I'm extremely humbled. Go, Pack, go!
All right, so Mark Murphy was today. Microsoft President Brad Smith was Monday. Tuesday was Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casilius. Yesterday was TV show host Kanya Hendricks-Shue. And like I said, today was former Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy. So there's going to be one more tomorrow, announced at 7:20 for the last WTMJ standout of the year. But who did they miss? Let me know who you think should be included. 855-616-1620. We will take your calls and read some of your texts after this.
Milwaukee Weight Loss is extending their huge holiday sale with $300 off now through December 26th with the lowest prices of the year on the result-getting Milwaukee Weight Loss program. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. You can start losing those unwanted pounds either before, during, or after the holidays. No more losing weight and gaining it back. You can keep the weight off for good with this program. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scafidi here. I took advantage of the Milwaukee Weight Loss program, lost 45 pounds this year. You can take advantage of the lowest prices of the year with $300 off. But hurry, sale ends on December 26th. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. Call for your free consultation, 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180 or MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Ring in your holiday season at the Bradley Symphony Center when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra and the Milwaukee Symphony Chorus present Hometown Holiday Pops, December 13th through the 21st. With 7 performances to choose from, there are plenty of opportunities for you to enjoy one of Milwaukee's most cherished and tuneful holiday traditions. Visit MSO.org for tickets and more information or call 414-291-7605. Allen Bradley Hall will be the very portrait of holiday cheer as you delight in so many of your favorite seasonal tunes in world-class performances. With an audience sing-along, performances by the Milwaukee Handbell Ensemble, and even a visit from jolly old St. Nick, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Don't miss this chance to make cozy holiday memories with family and friends. The number again for tickets is 414-291-7605 or online at mso.org.
This winter, upgrade your home and your savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. New windows, roofing, siding, or a stunning bath makeover. Get it done now and get $3,000 off your project. That's right, $3,000 back in your pocket during our biggest year-end blowout. Call 262-800-4274 or head to extpros.com. Don't wait. These holiday savings melt away fast. Exterior Pros and Baths. Your home upgraded for the holidays.
Planning for 2026 starts now. A new deck from Outdoor Living Unlimited is built to last. We are Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team. For amazing ideas, go to our Outdoor Living Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate, go to OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. Yet at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This is lovely music. What is this, Jazz?
Two Queens in a King-Size Bed by Girl in Red. It's a Christmas song.
All right. There you go. I like it. All right. Welcome back to Point Taken. I was asking for people's suggestions on who their standout of the year would be as we played Wisconsin Morning News Thursday standout, which was CEO Mark Murphy. We'll be able to hear who their final one is tomorrow at 7:20. You can always find all of the standouts from the year online at WTMJ.com or by texting standout to the WTMJ Citing Unlimited talk and text line 855-616-1620. We did have one person text in that said, my nominee would be a group. We, the people, the average citizens who are finding their courage to not only stand up for democracy, but also for their neighbor when seeing injustice. Think Kimmel, No Kings, school moms with whistles, just average people. That's a good one. I was trying to think of Wisconsin. I feel like there's someone, like some of the first responders for the floods this year. And I don't know if there's one specific person, but you think about what a big deal and how damaging the 1,000-year flood was over the summer at the end of State Fair. And I feel like there's some people who were certainly involved that deserve to be recognized from that. I'm trying to think of who else. Susan Crawford. I mean, I would say you could make an argument that Elon Musk made a big impact on Wisconsin during the Supreme Court race earlier this year, but certainly Susan Crawford was part of that as well after she won. And I would say, I was trying to think of this morning, knowing I was going to ask this question, and it feels like low-hanging fruit to say the governor, but I do think there as well, while he and Robin Vos and some of the leaders got criticism, and Governor Evers definitely got criticism from some Democratic lawmakers who were not happy with the compromises he made for the budget. But compromises were made, and it truly was a bipartisan budget this year. And so I think that also arguably made a very big impact on Wisconsin. But choosing the governor every year feels like too low-hanging of fruit. But all right, so if you have other suggestions on who your nominee would be for Standout for the Year, shoot us a text at the Citing Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620. When we come back, we will do all things local with Jeremy Janine of Urban Milwaukee. So stay with us. News is next.
Hi, this is Joe from Sidex. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who entered our recent giveaway. We were blown away by the response, and it means a lot to us that so many of you participated. Even if you didn't win, I want you to know we're still here for you. At Sidex, helping people love where they live inside and out is what drives us every day. So from all of us at Sidex, thank you for being part of something special. Sidex, love where you live inside and out with windows, doors, baths, and more.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
You've spent a lifetime taking care of others. Now it's your turn to enjoy life your way. At Capri Communities, they offer vibrant senior living where neighbors become friends, and each day brings something to smile about.
Well, it's breakfast with the boys, and then bingo is at 3 in the afternoon. I lost that super lady I lived with for 60 years, but have found a home and doing well. The accommodations, the facilities, it's been a pleasure.
Find your perfect new home at capricommunities.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. I know sometimes I get caught up in, we have a free weekend. What should I do? Where should we go? How do I do the planning? We have got you covered on Experience Wisconsin. Every Saturday at 1 o'clock, we take you around the state and introduce you to some of the cool places, people, and events that you should check out. On this week's show, it's going to be a good one. Lovely Lake Geneva. Man, are they special at Christmas time. And we check in with O&H Danish Bakery. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1 on WTMJ.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at progressive.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
We've all heard of Larry Bird. Allow us to introduce Dairy Bird.
A.J. Green splashing a three down from the right wing on the other end of the court. Dairy Bird going deep into his bag of tricks there.
The Celtics are in town to take on the Bucks at Fiserv Forum. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:30 on the home of the Bucks, 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 11 o'clock, it's 21 degrees, sunshine, some increasing clouds as we move through the day with highs only sitting here in the low 20s. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Neil Doyle. Jury selection currently underway in the high-profile trial of Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan. She's accused of helping an undocumented immigrant temporarily elude ICE agents at the courthouse back in April. Republican State Senator Rob Swearingen weighing in on the case.
Nobody is above the law, and this judge escorted the immigrant basically out the back door down the hallway to the jury room to evade ICE.
With jury selection again underway right now at the courthouse, that will possibly go into tomorrow. They will wrap up the 12-member jury hopefully by Friday, and then that trial set to begin on Monday. Decision Wisconsin, another candidate getting into the governor's race.
I'm Joel Brennan. I'm a Democrat running for governor.
That's Greater Milwaukee Committee President Joel Brennan officially announcing his campaign today. Brennan previously served as the top cabinet official for Governor Tony Evers. And with the announcement, Brennan will be stepping away as president of the GMC. He'll be joining Wisconsin's Midday News today coming up at about 12:15. Slenderman stabber Morgan Geyser no longer in the Waukesha County Jail. The Sheriff's Department confirming that she was moved to a different facility but did not disclose where. And now 3 Wisconsin Department of Correction staff are on leave after Geyser's escape from her group home in Madison.
The DOC is reviewing its procedures related to what happens when a GPS monitor is tampered with, and they've already made some changes. DOC Secretary Jared Hoy says an apprehension request will now be sent to law enforcement immediately after a tamper is confirmed, instead of requiring staff to try a system reset first. On the night that Geyser left her group home, over 2 hours passed from the time the first tamper alert was received to when the apprehension request was sent out. The corrections staff on leave are still under investigation. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A new survey out this week finds that most hourly workers are struggling to make ends meet.
More than 80% of those polled by the workforce payment platform Branch said they worry they won't be able to pay their bills on time. 6 in 10 have skipped meals to cover their bills.
Financial instability is now intersecting with unpredictable schedules, volatile income, and just creating compounding stress for this demographic.
Branch CEO Atif Siddiqui.
Some of this is just impact of still rising prices, housing costs, inflation.
77% of hourly workers have less than $500 in emergency savings. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up more than 1% at 48,611. NASDAQ is down almost 1% at 23,434. And the S&P 500 is down about 17 points at 6,869. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
America stands at the ready to build faster, achieve more. The future won't wait. And TC Energy is moving forward confidently. The Wisconsin Reliability Project is unlocking billions in economic growth by connecting Wisconsin with reliable North American natural gas, helping the entire state go further. TC Energy, energy connected. Learn how we're strengthening America from the inside out at tcenergy.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Flanner's Home Entertainment. Does the audio and video system in your home need an upgrade? Well, Flanner's has all the solutions and the installation experts to simplify and upgrade your home entertainment experience. Forget about the impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases. You go with locally owned Flanner's, where quality service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities. Stop by Flanner's in West Dallas, Grafton, or at Flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. It's hard to believe the holidays are almost here. We want to say thank you to our clients we helped in 2025. You are why we love what we do. Our why is simple: to make a real difference for people who feel stuck, frustrated, or ignored, and give them the tools they need to succeed. We helped Cheryl clean up 2 years of QuickBooks so her business could see a path to a bright future when she now had good financial information in her hands. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties plus another $152,000 in taxes because we know the tax law. Imagine the stress lifted off your shoulders after you talk with us. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see if we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Week 15 of the NFL kicking off tonight. The Buccaneers hosting the Falcons. Packers gearing up for their game in Denver, facing a Broncos team that have won 10 in a row. Packers wide receiver Christian Watson.
It's going to be a playoff atmosphere, obviously a playoff caliber defense. So, that's the type of games we're going to get down here in the stretch. So, it definitely is. It's going to be an exciting one.
Turning over to the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks have had quite a bit of time off. They've had 5 days off, and they'll be back on the floor tonight hosting the Celtics. Bucks trying to get it turned around. They've lost 2 in a row, or just 2-8 over their last 10. We'll have coverage tonight starting at 6:30 here on WTMJ. Let's take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. No major issues, but still a little bit of a problem on 41 southbound. You're on the brakes as you approach Good Hope, and then until you get past Hampton, a little slow there, and a couple of slowdowns as well in our construction zone on 94, both east and westbound there through the stadium interchange. Otherwise, rest of the system looking good.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox & Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy a $100 gift card from the historic Fox & Hounds restaurant. Get a $20 gift card absolutely free. What a deal. Order online at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
And take a look at your forecast. We will see sunshine as we move through our Thursday. Some increasing clouds a little bit later on, a high around 21. Tonight, we could see a couple of little snow flurries, low down to 14, and then that snow will move into Friday. Could maybe see about an inch of snow accumulation tomorrow, highs in the mid-20s. And then it's cold as we get into the weekend. Slight chance for a flurry Saturday. We'll see highs only in the single digits. That means wind chills well below zero. Pretty much the same on Sunday. Mostly sunny, again, single-digit temperatures with very cold wind chills. Right now, it is 21 degrees in Madison, sitting at 20 degrees in Sheboygan, and it's 21 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
11 o'clock on a Thursday means it's time for a full hour of city stories with Urban Milwaukee President Jeremy Janine on Point Taken.
Indeed, indeed. No more having to do this solo. Jeremy Janine is here to save the day and help me carry the rest of this hour. How are you doing today, Jeremy?
That's a lot of pressure, Kristin, but I'm here.
You're
Let's
here.
give it a try.
How are you doing? doing?
I'm doing great. I had a bit too much fun last night.
What was the fun?
There are lots of great Christmas bars in Milwaukee, and I have to say Charles E. Fromage is taking the pole position right now.
What was their decor like?
They have this like 1950s Parisian thing going on. My wife ordered a drink that came in a Christmas ornament, and you take the topper off the ornament and pour it in to mix it. I am a boring person and just had a ho-ho holiday beer. But we had a great time with our neighbors.
That's awesome. That's very fun. So where were all the bars that are decorated for Christmas right now? Give them some love.
There are a lot. We went Charles E. Fromage. We went to Tin Widow, which is on South 2nd Street. Charles E. Fromage is on West Valete Street in Washington Heights. Then we hopped over to Walker's Point, and then we headed back towards home. The Lost Whale is often decorated for multiple holidays, but goes all out for Christmas, including we noticed fake frost on the windows, which was a touch my neighbor couldn't resist writing her name in. On Kinnickinnick Avenue in Bayview.
Wait, does it refrost then, or is her name just there now?
I think they might have to get out a little pen and fill it in.
All right, well, that's very fun. Definitely head up some jolly good bars, because there are a lot that are decorated for the season, and it's always fun to support them. All right, let's dive right in. As always, you have lots of good topics for us to cover for today. The first being Frank Lloyd Wright designed a house to be renovated and converted into a museum.
So we have in Milwaukee this kind of treasure, I guess you'd call it, 6 houses designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, famous architect who practiced in Spring Green in the Madison area, came up in Chicago, learned, and internationally recognized. But in Milwaukee, we have what are called the American system-built houses, and we kind of talk around the idea in the modern day of what Frank Lloyd Wright was trying to do 110 years ago, which was find a way to build quality, affordable housing and sell it to the masses. And he had this grand vision. He partnered with Arthur Richards, who was a Milwaukee developer, and they built these 6 demonstration homes. And they built them in 1916, 1917, and they ended up building about 24 of these homes in 4 states, and their hope was to build thousands of them.
Okay.
But then if you're a student of history, you know 1916, 1917, World War I, and that just devastated the housing market. So the idea fell apart. Wright walked away from it, but we're left with these 6 houses in Milwaukee that we have this nonprofit, Frank Lloyd Wright's Burnham Block, has systematically for the past 2 decades worked to restore. And on Monday, they kicked off work on the corner house. So it's on the corner of Layton Boulevard and Burnham Avenue or Burnham Street on the south side of Milwaukee. 27th Street is Layton Boulevard. And it is not a large home. It's 900 some square feet. And they're going to spend $800,000 renovating it, which is, I didn't do the math exactly, but something like 200 times the amount of money Wright envisioned spending building it. But the idea is you'll be able to walk into the door of the house as it was completed in 1916. That includes restoring all the windows, restoring all the siding. There's an enclosed porch. Wright had envisioned it being an open-air porch with some sunshades, so that's all coming back. Lots of wood built-in fixtures. There are some photos in my article. You can also look up the Frank Lloyd Wright's Burnham Block. They have the house next to it is already restored. You can get a sense of what it's going to be like. They're really nice places when they're done, but they come with a big price tag. There is a federal grant that's paying for half of the cost.
But they're just museums then. They're not to be lived in.
They are house museums. They actually are. This house was rented out for the past several decades.
Who owns them currently?
The nonprofit has owned this one since 2012.
And they were renting it out to just a tenant.
I assume with a very strict lease. They didn't go into the deals, but like, don't drill anywhere, please. They've acquired all these houses, and they've been rented out at the time they've acquired them, or the owners have vacated, and they've slowly restored them. One of them had water standing in the basement, so that one's going to need even more work. They're not 6 identical houses, and you can go in them on Doors Open for free in late September, the Historic Milwaukee event. But throughout the year, you can go take a tour. 4th graders come because they study Wisconsin. Their high schoolers, I learned, come from Hales Corners because they kind of study both housing and architecture as this class project, so they do a lot with these houses. It's a neat project down there, and it's going to be a lot more exciting that you'll be able to go in not just one of the houses, but 2 and 3 of the houses.
All right, that is very cool. And what's the timeline?
Next September, they hope to be done, which lines up nicely with Doors Open when it's open to the public for free.
Absolutely. All right, what do we got coming next when we come back?
We got all kinds of stuff, but we're going to talk a lot about the mayor today. Is his power waning?
Interesting, because certainly before you got here, I was asking the audience who their standout of the year would be, because Wisconsin's Morning News has been doing that all week. And someone texted in from the 262 saying Mayor Johnson. So we'll find out. Is he impactful, or is that impact starting to wane? So we'll get to that after this on Point Taken.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve's Committee for Advent. I had snoring issues, right? Kept my wife, Kathy, up
many nights, too many nights, probably woke myself up a lot more than I realized. Poor sleep, tossing and turning, tired mornings. Kristin would say grouchy mornings on the radio. But I did something about it, which is me, action plan guy. I went to Advent as a customer and a client, 30-minute visit. They walked me through my issues, answered my questions, added a really simple sleep study at home, determined my problem, sinuses, nasal passage in my breathing triangle. After a short procedure, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, breathing better than ever, 5.5 years ago. Now I sleep through the whole night. That's worth the price of admission. If you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to adventknows.com. Adventknows.com. Schedule an appointment today because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Classic feeling. Your home is failing. Windows are old, roof looks horrible, siding is distressed. Even your front door fights you on everything. Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and I will be on the Fix It Show this Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. 1 hour where you get to call in and ask about your failing home and how the professionals at Siding Unlimited can help you. Can't wait until Saturday? Bring your pictures to our Siding Unlimited showroom and let's chat. Start your home updating journey with Siding Unlimited at sidingunlimited.com.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
What we're predicting is that women who are hackers are going to double.
Entertainment.
Sinclair has a very conservative approach on a national scale, and they tend to force their local stations to use this national content.
And more.
What we do know right now, Libby, is I'm wearing 3 pairs of pants, so yes, I am prepared for the frigid temperatures.
Every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ.
All right, some of you were at the Carlos last night, and if you've missed all of the trivia so far, you still have another chance because Gabe Neitzel and Alex Strofe from WTMJ's our sister station, ESPN, but they are doing another trivia night for WTMJ's Trivia Showdown, and that's going to be Wednesday, December 17th at the Hot House Tavern in Menominee Falls. It's still presented by Quizmaster Trivia, still benefiting Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive, and all you need to do is bring an unused toy or text TOY to 855-616-1620 to donate. Bring your crew, play for a good cause, and hang out with Gabe and Alex. All right, Jeremy Janine. So, from Urban Milwaukee, as always, we look forward to you being here on Thursdays at 11 a.m. So, Bruce Murphy, editor.
Urban Milwaukee editor.
Wrote an article titled Milwaukee's Mayor's Power in Decline.
And this is a trend we've been watching. Bruce and I, when we talk, there's a newsroom reveal, I guess, that we talk a lot in the newsroom about different things that never make it into an article, or they're 6 months away from making it into an article. And one of the things we've been watching is, well, the council seems to really be asserting a lot of power over the mayor. We know, and anyone that follows state politics knows that the state of Wisconsin likes to strip power from cities. They're the power of local control, the Republicans, but it ends up often with less control for Milwaukee in particular. But within Milwaukee, there's also a fight over power. And what we're seeing more and more is the Common Council is taking authority away from the mayor, or that the mayor vetoes something and the Common Council is really united in overriding his vetoes.
So, because that's what just happened with the budget, right? They're ultimately, how many of his vetoes did they end up overriding?
So Bruce looked back at, going back to John Norquist, who created this strong mayor system, but that Norquist and Tom Barrett both got about 50% rates in their budget vetoes and just vetoing policy in general. Cavalier Johnson just issued 7 vetoes on the budget alone, and he got overridden on all of them 7 different times. So that those 7 vetoes we just mentioned, count those as 1. 7 different times Johnson has vetoed something since coming into office. He's been overridden 6 of the 7 times, whereas the past 2 mayors only 50% of the time.
So is there much insight on the backstory of this? Is it ego? Is it politics? Is it ideology? Or what is it that there is this much consolidation on the Common Council to override the mayor?
I think there's a weird dynamic at play where the current mayor was one of the Common Council members. That Tom Barrett and John Norquist both came from Congress or the state legislature. So they kind of came from outside the power structure within the city. Cavalier Johnson kind of emerged from within the power structure, and you would think that might have better relationships, but at this point it seems to have fractured where the Common Council is very comfortable overriding him, that he doesn't seem like, to them, like this big authoritative figure. Now that he might project that elsewhere, but at least between the council and the mayor, the council is almost giddy to override his vetoes.
But I guess that's my question. Is it just for the sake of overriding him, or is there an actual ideological argument for the things that they're overriding? Being better, this is why we think this is better for the city.
When it comes to like the fire trucks and the budget, I wouldn't describe that as a big ideological difference. Like Johnson was proposed $2 million, and the council was like, let's do 10, and they compromised at 6 essentially, or he tried to compromise, and the council overrode them. So they're not big ideological differences, but there's we just want to flex our power, and this is a way we can. So let's try and send a message, but that message is really only to one guy.
And is he receiving that message? Like, what is the end game? Is the end game to get him to govern differently, or is it just to be a thorn in the side?
I think the end game is to say we are a co-equal branch of government.
Got it.
Scott Spiker has made that clear. People will talk to me off the record on both sides that clearly are frustrated with the other side, but agree, hey, we have to work together. But then they seem to do things to needle the other side. And that happens in both directions. But it's contentious at the city. But we're seeing the council, outside of the budget vetoes, they're also moved 2 offices to be standalone departments. And that gives the council more authority over them. They're departments, which means the council can hire and fire their leader. If you report to a different department head, the council can't hire or fire you.
So what does this mean going forward? We obviously are done with the budget, but where could this rear its head going forward as far as him being Mayor Johnson having less power?
Well, the big thing, and I'll have an article in the next week out of Milwaukee about the person that held this job previously, but the Office of Equity and Inclusion, by moving it into a standalone department, when that person comes to get hired, the council is now going to have a say. It's not just someone the mayor can hire on his own. So that's a power play situation there. And whether the mayor's choice or the council's choice happens, we'll see, because it's very possible the mayor could nominate someone and the council could have someone else in mind. And that did happen for the Department of Neighborhood Services previously.
And when is the next aldermanic election?
April of 2028, which is the same mayoral election. So these people need to learn to work together because they're going to be together for quite a while.
I was going to say, that's not soon. That's we have a while left. So, all right, let's take another break. He is Jeremy Janine from Urban Milwaukee. I am Kristin Brey, and this is Point Taken.
Ring in your holiday season at the Bradley Symphony Center when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra and the Milwaukee Symphony Chorus present Hometown Holiday Pops, December 13th through the 21st. With 7 performances to choose from, there are plenty of opportunities for you to enjoy one of Milwaukee's most cherished and tuneful holiday traditions. Visit MSO.org for tickets and more information, or call 414-291-7605. Allen Bradley Hall will be the very portrait of holiday cheer as you delight in so many of your favorite seasonal tunes in world-class performances. With an audience sing-along, performances by the Milwaukee Handbell Ensemble, and even a visit from jolly old St. Nick, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Don't miss this chance to make cozy holiday memories with family and friends. The number again for tickets is 414-291-7605 or online at mso.org.
There are 12 months in the year.
12 hours on the clock.
12 signs of the zodiac.
12 days of Christmas.
12 apostles.
And 12 wow items at Kessler's.
And 12 wow items at Kessler's.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
One of the coolest wow items is only $48.
It's a paperclip chain made out of gold-plated sterling silver.
Very cool. And just $48.
We have wow tennis bracelets for just $1,998.
Wow 10-carat tennis necklaces.
Wow engagement rings.
A wow toggle heart bracelet.
And it's just $168.
Wow diamond pendants.
And a fantastic wow snowflake pendant in sterling silver.
With blue color-enhanced diamonds. Blue!
And it's just $163. Kessler's is the place to be for you and me.
And blue diamonds are you diamonds.
The thing is wow. The time is now.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you and our holiday hours, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered. Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scavini here to talk about my brand new show, WTMJ Outdoors. This week, talking deer hunting with Cole Gander from the National Deer Association, Milwaukee County Parks winter activities, and we wrapped up with Rose Gray Foxwood travel on international travel. How about an African safari? All things Wisconsin outdoors. Join us every Saturday, 2 to 3, right here on 620 WTMJ.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Talking with Jeremy Janine of Urban Milwaukee on this Thursday. Still talking about the mayor. So mayor declines to sign historic preservation for arena. So this was a conversation that has been happening with Marty Brooks, wanting to do a study with what's going to happen with the Miller High Life Theater and the Panther Arena. And Alderman Bauman had this idea of making it a historic preservation, so people would have to have the public's input before anything happened to it.
Yes, so that in the background of all this is the potential convention center hotel and this Hunden Partners study looking at those sites and several other sites as possible places. These buildings are owned by the Wisconsin Center District, not a city entity, but a public entity. And the Alderman Robert Bauman, who sits on the Wisconsin Center District Board, had the idea, let's designate them historic. They're, I think by the city's definition of historic preservation, they're clearly historic. Theodore Roosevelt getting shot and all the significant events that have taken place there. But Marty Brooks didn't want them designated historic because it maintains his flexibility for his organization. And the council said, yeah, these are historic. And they voted unanimously. And then we just talked about the mayor's lack of success with vetoes. Well, he has a third option. He can sign a file into law, he can veto it, or he can just do nothing and return it to the council unsigned, which often he does. He doesn't do it often, but when he does it, it's clear, like, I disapprove of this, but I'm not willing to make this fight even bigger than it is. So he's kind of siding with Marty Brooks here, saying we're not going to, I don't necessarily want to designate these as historic, but he's also kind of siding with the council by saying, well, I'm not going to stop you from doing it. I'm just going to give this back to you, and it goes into law. So those two buildings are historically protected now.
Oh.
But the mayor essentially took no position on it. He's trying to sit on the fence.
Oh, interesting.
Which is not the way it works at every other level of government.
Yeah, there usually would have to be some kind of sign-off. So I didn't realize that was, would you call that a loophole?
No, it's just the way the system is set up. And it's usually like the mayor's like, I'm really mad about this, but I'm not mad enough to pick a fight with you. And that's essentially what Tom Barrett does. Usually they came with a letter, would be like, I disapprove of this, but I'm not going to keep escalating.
So is it done now? So now
it's done.
They're preserved.
Those buildings are
they
historic.
Can't just be torn down if the Wisconsin district wants to tear them down.
Yeah, correct. But Robert Bauman has been clear that we're not necessarily stopping demolition full stop. We're just making sure that there's a conversation that has to take place should that move forward.
Okay.
So that's coming.
That is coming. All right. And then the other piece is including the mayor.
Yes, this is another fight within the city, although all of a sudden the council and the mayor's office seem to be singing the same tune. It seemed the Marcus Center parking structure, there was this grand plans, 55-story building to replace it. Well, that developer is essentially bankrupt. We'll shorthand that story there. So now the Marcus Center owns owns the structure. The city owns the land. I believe the city insures it. So it's this weird relationship. Mm-hmm. The structure, 55-year-old structure, definitely failing. All the elevators were out of service. The concrete, if you look at my aerial photo in the article, it's like clearly spalling. It's been patched in many areas. There needs to be some solution on how to fix it. The Marcus Center says, hey, we're out of money, and we think you guys owe us a couple $1 million. City attorney, an independent office, says, no, we don't think that's what the lease says. So there's a possible fight coming there. But Robert Bauman's like, well, I think we have a moral obligation since we kind of helped create this mess that we'll find $224,000 for you. They went and found the money from a fund to pay for new parking checker vehicles. The mayor said, no, we don't want that. But the council seemed poised to go ahead. And then on Tuesday, everything unraveled because we'll call it a preliminary audit by the independent comptroller resulted in more questions than answers about the Marcus Center withdrawing some money from this fund. This was years ago before the current Marcus Center officials were there, transferring it to their general fund. They also charge an amount to manage the garage every year, but they can't justify immediately why they're charging the amount they're charging. So all of a sudden there's all kinds of questions, and the council is no longer interested in overruling the mayor. They're pumping the brakes themselves, and we have a parking garage that is in bad shape and needs a long-term solution.
And no And the long-term solution now that was in place being kicked down the road because Neutral can't afford to actually build another building, let alone the one that they already started.
Right. There's two solutions being worked on. One, the medium term, you need to maintain the garage somehow. Long term, the city still wants to find a developer to rebuild it, would include some new parking for the Marcus Center, but that, yes, could be 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. It will happen at some date, sometime, but it's now well off in the future.
And why does the Marcus Center, why do they think that the city owes them money?
There's a 1985 lease amendment that has some vague language that speaks to a capital improvements committee. No one can produce, on either side, can produce any documentation that shows this committee was ever set up. So instead, the Marcus Center has interpreted this revenue sharing partnership to also be a cost sharing partnership, which is, it appears, not how it's written. It's about sharing revenue, not about sharing in costs.
Okay. And what was the final decision from the county's point of view as far as giving the Marcus Performing Arts Center any money?
They are weaning the Marcus Center off, but they continue to delay that. So they're now giving them money. I believe it's for 5 more years, maybe 4 more years at this point. But that, yes, it is a county-owned building, I believe, legally still, but that the county is no longer contributing to the operating fund come 2030.
So the county owns the Marcus Performing Arts building.
Correct.
But the city owns, but the Marcus Performing Arts Center owns this parking structure.
Yes.
And the city owns the land that both sit on.
Just that the parking structure sits on.
So the county also owns the land that the center itself sits on.
Yes, and the county has tried to offload that as part of the Bucks Stadium deal, but that didn't end up happening.
Okay. Very confusing.
Yes, absolute mess.
Very, very confusing. All right, when we come back, what do we got coming up next?
We've got all kinds of things. We have an interesting historic preservation case on the east side, and then some county government things from reporter Graham Kilmer.
All right, sounds good. He is Jeremy Janine from Urban Milwaukee. We'll continue to talk about all things local when we come back, but coming up next, of course, is ABC News, and then after that, we have local headlines.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franz, and a federal judge has ordered Kilmar Abrego Garcia immediately be released from ICE custody, saying there's not an order calling for him to be removed from the country and no legal basis for his continued detention. The Maryland man and Salvadorian native was mistakenly deported to his native El Salvador in March, then returned to the U.S. following court rulings, and then charged with human smuggling. He has pleaded not guilty. The Walt Disney Company is investing $1 billion in open AI and letting content creators use its characters in videos.
Under the agreement, some of the videos will be chosen to stream on Disney+. Customers will be able to use OpenAI's Sora video platform to create content and draw from more than 200 characters from the Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars brands. Disney is the parent company of ABC News.
ABC's Sherry Preston. And Powerball keeps on rolling. No grand prize winner in last night's drawing. That's pushed the jackpot to $1 billion. The next drawing, Saturday. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 11:31. I'm Neil Doyle. Potential jurors in the courtroom this morning for the case of Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan. Dugan accused of helping an immigrant avoid ICE custody at the courthouse back in April. The jurors are being asked a number of questions by both the prosecution and defense. Both sides have said finding an impartial jury will be a challenge. The process of selecting the 12-member jury is scheduled to go into Friday. Dugan's trial then set to begin next week. A Cudahy School District staff member now in custody for alleged sexual misconduct involving a student. Police say the inappropriate relationship between the staff member and student allegedly took place in 2023. A 28-year-old man from Milwaukee was arrested earlier this week. School district officials say they were made aware of the allegations. The staff member has been placed on leave. Authorities say that investigation is ongoing. And a step forward for a proposed project to update parts of I-94 in Waukesha County. The DOT's Transportation Projects Commission voted to advance 2 highway studies, one being I-94 between Willow Glen Road and the Zoo Interchange. Officials say that portion of the I-94 corridor needs updated infrastructure with a number of aging bridges and old pavement dating back to the 1950s. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up more than 1% at 48,694. The NASDAQ is down about 135 points at 23,518. And the S&P 500 is up about a point right now at 6,887. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. And let's take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Still a couple of slowdowns, but things have kind of cleared up on 41 southbound. But you might hit the brakes a little bit starting at Silver Spring until you get past Hampton Avenue there. And then also a little bit more of a backup now, 94 eastbound there as you enter the construction zone. So that starts at 76th Street. Again, you'll be a bit slow until you get past Hawley Road. Otherwise, rest of the system moving along nicely. We'll see sunshine here today, but we'll see some clouds start to move in later on as well. A high up around 21. Not going to get a whole lot warmer as we move throughout our Thursday. Tonight, we could see a slight chance for some snow, a low down to 14. Those snow chances will continue into Friday. We could maybe see about an inch of accumulation, a high around 25. And then the bitter cold moving in as we hit the weekend. Saturday, could maybe see a little snow flurry, but again, single-digit temperatures on Saturday, wind chills well below zero. Pretty much the same on Sunday. We'll see sunny conditions, but a high of just 9 degrees. Again, those wind chills well below zero. Right now, it's 19 degrees in Green Bay. We're sitting at 22 in Kenosha, and it's 21 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
Are you hosting this holiday season or family staying at the house? Let's get things tightened up or even improved with a timely project from my team at Horner Plumbing. Vince Vitrano here. These are the folks in my contacts list under plumber. Let's get Horner out to the house. Get you a free quote on that project that you've been thinking about, talking about, pushing off, upfront pricing, and an honest assessment from Horner. So you know the project will fit your budget and your timeline. Just heard from Erin over there at Horner, and she tells me they do have room on the schedule for most projects in time for your holiday guests. So whether that's getting the leaky shower or sink fixed for folks who are going to be staying at the home, or a major project so you can accommodate them, my team at Horner is ready to go. With the holidays fast approaching, now's the perfect time to schedule your free quote. Let Horner Plumbing help you get those home projects wrapped up before the season begins. $50 off your first service when you tell them Vinny sent you. Horner Plumbing. Find them online at hornerplumbing.com.
Score the top gifts for the Brewers fan in your life this holiday season. Set them up for an epic 2026 season with the all-new Brewers Holiday Bundle, featuring 4 ticket vouchers, loaded value concession credits, and an exclusive Brewers Holiday ornament, starting at just $99. Finish shopping for even the youngest Brewers fans with the 2026 Kids Crew Kit, including one-of-a-kind Brewers merch, 6 ticket vouchers, a ballpark tour, and more, all for just $35. Grab every Brewers Holiday gift today at Brewers.com.
America stands at the ready to build faster, achieve more. The future won't wait. And TC Energy is moving forward confidently. The Wisconsin Reliability Project is unlocking billions in economic growth by connecting Wisconsin with reliable North American natural gas, helping the entire state go further. TC Energy, energy connected. Learn how we're strengthening America from the inside out at tcenergy.com.
It's Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. Steve will be back on Monday. We are talking to Jeremy Janine of Urban Milwaukee. As I channel my inner Steve, where's that tchotchke store?
Where's that tchotchke store? 755 North Milwaukee Street. A great time of year to come shop because it's all things Milwaukee and Wisconsin pride, many of which fit either on a Christmas tree or nicely under it.
Oh, there you go. Actually, I think boss Michael Spalding and his wife were there earlier over the weekend.
Excellent.
And I think they got some tchotchkes.
Well, look at that. All these plugs.
There you go. All right. So Milwaukee is vying for grants for trail extensions. Which trails?
This is the Powerline Trail, which is a trail I'm reasonably confident you and most of Milwaukee has no idea is rapidly taking shape.
Okay, I would agree with that, at least for myself.
So pull up Google Maps and go to the satellite view. And what you'll see on the south side of Milwaukee is, and this extends the whole way from 894 on the west near the Hale interchange to the lakefront, is this unbuilt corridor. There's power lines there, but it's just this nice wide corridor that looks like a great spot to put a trail. And lo and behold, people had a great idea to put the trail there, and it's coming together.
Okay.
Much of it exists in Greenfield right now from something like 90th, and it's actually almost to Wilson Park, so it's getting close. I think it's at like 35th Street almost. So there's a good section of trail there. It's not quite as nice as the Oak Leaf, which is a former railroad corridor, so it was completely grade separated. You go underneath or above streets. This, you do have to cross some of the streets, but there are nice intersections being built. But the city, that's an east-west corridor. The city is applying for 2 state grants, federal money that the state administers, that would extend that 2 miles in Milwaukee and into St. Francis, because eventually this trail will run from Lake Michigan the whole way west to about the Hale interchange and then go north. You can follow this corridor. It goes right along 894. You can see it when you're driving. There's this nice green corridor, We Energy's equipment there, because it's an old interurban right-of-way, that it will go the whole way up to the Hank Aaron State Trail. So you'll be able to be on the lakeshore. You could start and say like Cudahy in the future and bike the whole way to Madison on a trail. You can avoid downtown Milwaukee doing it. It'll be a really nice trail. It's coming together really quickly. The city doesn't know if it's going to win both of these grants, but it's likely to win one of them. And there'll be at least 2 new miles of trail by 2028.
That's exciting.
So it's a huge amenity for the south side. The Powerline Trail is there in Greenfield already. So if you're into biking, walking, running, go check it out. It's a really nice new trail.
So you'll be able to get from Lake Michigan to Madison entirely on trails?
And you actually are very close to being able to do so now.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
The Hank Aaron State Trail and then the Glacial Drumline Trail as you go further west. It's not paved the whole way when you're out in, say, Jefferson County. It is a crushed limestone, but you can bike on most bikes on it.
Okay. All right. Well, then moving on. I was talking earlier in the first hour about the city of San Francisco suing big food companies for ultra-processed food. Similar, I think, accountability for companies who have, not for ultra-processed food, but putting PFAS in everything. It sounds like the county is now seeking to sue PFAS producers.
Yes, the county had great luck being part of an opioid settlement. They got something like $70 million paid over several years, and that the harm there is very clear, that the overdose crisis in Milwaukee, there were 400 some people dying every year in Milwaukee County. So it's very clear to link the severity of the problem. PFAS, I think, is going to be a tougher case to make on a nationwide class action basis, but that seems where this is headed. Milwaukee County's claim is particularly to firefighting foam as it relates to the airport. It's heavily used there in firefighting foam, and the county will eventually have cleanup costs. One thing of concern is if you look on keep that map up from earlier, you will see that there's this little river that essentially is buried through the airport. So I don't know how much contamination is occurring there, but there'll be a huge cleanup cost, and the goal of this lawsuit that the county is likely to pursue is against PFAS producers and oil companies to cover the cleanup costs related to the airport.
What has been the success rate as far as holding companies with the PFAS? Like in the last, I would say, what do you think, 5 years, when we've really realized how bad PFAS are and how ubiquitous they are across so many different products? Has there been a lot of success in cleaning them up, in preventing them from being in more products?
The biggest shoe, at least in Wisconsin, is about to drop, where the Wisconsin Department of Justice under Josh Cole, Attorney General Josh Cole, and Johnson Controls are about to have a settlement as it relates to Tyco, which is a subsidiary, again, with firefighting foam. That's going to be possibly huge or possibly very disappointing, and we'll learn in a couple weeks probably what happens there. But I guess that's probably going to be a standard-bearing case for what maybe smaller producers have. And when it comes to Tyco in northeast Wisconsin, the facility producing a lot of that equipment has really contaminated groundwater there.
Great. All right, when we come back, where do you want to go next?
We can talk about what's going to happen. Interstate 94 isn't the only big construction project that's going to happen. The $490 million safety building, kind of how that's going to work. And then we could also look at surveillance technology and how Milwaukee County supervisors are feeling about that.
All right, sounds great. He is Jeremy Janine. I am Kristin Brey, and this is Point Taken.
Hey, we all know pain is a way of stealing the moments that matter most, especially during the holidays. That's all coming up. Not just your knees, your back, shoulder. For me, it was my elbow. I had tennis elbow. I decided to do something, changed my life in 2025. I went to QC Kinetics, met Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a great team at QC Kinetics right here in Milwaukee. They helped me deal with that pain, not with surgery, not with pain pills, using my body's own natural healing powers. And you know what? In 5 treatments this summer, it made my body come back to where it was before. Using my own cells, long-term relief. I don't have the pain anymore. Elbow's fine. Back to all the things I love to do, like walking, hiking, not so much dancing, but enjoying the holidays, because that's coming up. Life without pain, without hesitation. QC Kinetics, healing is within reach. It was awesome for me in 2025. Let's make 2025 and 2026 your reason to call QC Kinetics. Schedule your free consultation. Now's the best time to use your HSA and FSA for treatments. Call 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
This is Trainer Games.
Watch it on Prime Video starting January 8th.
Hey, check this out. There's free pizza today at the Mind Chef Family Restaurant in Hartford. Seriously, it is free. John Mercure here. Every Thursday, when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza free. Buy 2, get 2 free pizzas. Buy 10, get 10 free. If you buy 25 pizzas, you'll get 25 free pizzas. Bring in pizza today for your loyal employees or for your holiday office or company party. Your employees will love the delicious pizza, and you'll love it because half your pizzas are free, saving your company a ton of money. Order now, pick up later, or dine in. Coaches, bring in your team today for the free pizza with that huge game room. It's super affordable team bonding. Don't cook and clean. Buy one pizza, get one free at the Mind Chef today. Plenty to take home for a snack or leftovers, maybe lunch at work tomorrow. The Mine Shaft is decorated with lights and Christmas characters. It is big-time fun in festive downtown Hartford, near the interstate in Oshkosh. Lots of seating, close parking. It's the Mine Shaft.
Drafty windows means wasted money. Call Siding Unlimited today for energy-efficient replacement windows and doors and start saving now. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristin Brey. Steve will be back on Monday, and we are rounding out this hour with Jeremy Janine from Urban Milwaukee, as always, talking now about the safety building. So I know this was a huge campaign last year as a lot of city and county officials were trying to lobby the state legislature to put some money in the budget because our safety building is very old.
Yes, and we're going to hear a lot about this next week, the way the rest of the courthouse, which is attached to the safety building, is set up, and I'm referencing the Hannah Dugan case, is also problematic because it just feeds everyone into these central hallways, which when you have a criminal defendant and you have a jury, those people should not be crossing paths, but oftentimes they can just because how the building's laid out. So there's almost a $500 million plan to build a new, essentially, criminal courthouse on the footprint of the safety building, which is, I believe, 821 West State Street. It's kind of in the northern half of that county, city, police courthouse complex over there. The question is, okay, if you're going to put it there, that means the safety building has to come down, and the safety building currently has most of the felony courts in it. So where are they going to go? Well, the plan is we'll just jam them in the rest of the courthouse, it turns out, for the time period that construction takes. Well, okay, how long is that? It's going to start next year and it's going to last through 2031. So very similar to the Interstate 94 project, we're going to have a long time of disruption. Thankfully, most people don't have to go to the courthouse as much as they have to drive down Interstate 94. But what do the judges say about it? And I like this quote in Graham Kilmer's piece. Chief Judge Carl Ashley says, "I think on balance, it's not going to be the best situation, but it's workable." So to me, that's warning signs going off. We hear a lot about challenges we did during the pandemic about delays with getting people, getting speedy trials to happen, all kinds of sentencing issues, just staffing issues. I think we're probably going to hear more of those reading between the lines there, that there's probably going to be challenges because you're going to have two judges sharing a courtroom and they're going to have to be booking it tightly and very carefully coordinating schedules.
Got it. Speaking of Hannah Dugan, what is the coverage that you guys are doing this week? I'm assuming since you're here, someone else is covering today.
Graham Kilmer, he's our county government reporter, and he's also our Hannah Dugan trial court reporter. So he will be there all next week for the trial. He's also looking at the jury selection today. I don't know exactly what's planned, but we're really gearing up for next week.
I asked you this off air, but I'll ask you on air for the audience's benefit. Do you feel like interest in this case from readers has sustained or gone down over the course of the year?
I feel like it's knowing how much traffic we got like the day she was arrested.
Yeah, which was it was a huge story, and now I feel like has it sustained? And do you think there's going to be a spike of interest next week, or have people moved on?
I'm predicting a spike, but there's also been some level of interest. The thing that concerns me in terms of I favor a society that's well literate and well read is it seems like people are dug in and not actually looking at what's being reported. They're just spouting off their opinion when it comes to social media comments, which nothing new there.
Well, I was going to say, does that surprise you?
No,
is that different than any other topic we could be debating over?
Correct. But in this one, I guess be prepared to listen next week to actually what both sides are arguing.
All right, got it. All right, and then quickly, the public concern about sheriff's use of surveillance technology?
So we're seeing this play out at the city with MPD. The sheriff's office is also pursuing this, and that is to use a couple different surveillance technologies, two most notably Biometrica, which has a facial recognition database technology, and basically every big agency that feeds mugshots into it makes the system more effective. There are lots of concerns, though, about false positives. There's a study, I believe, out of MIT or some Massachusetts university about how that disparately impacts minority communities because the camera quality just isn't as good if your skin is not white. So that's a concern. County supervisors are raising that and other issues. There's also flock cameras, which I had not considered this use, but there was a county hearing in the last week that this came up at. Flock cameras are essentially very sophisticated license plate readers, and they're in use throughout the city by business improvement districts, but they're all connected to a network that allows states that have abortion restrictions, it turns out, to look at license plates of people that might be traveling across state lines for abortions. I think that's something everyone could probably agree is not a good use of that technology. Catching stolen vehicles is a very good use of that technology. And there are concerns because the sheriff's office is moving ahead, but the county supervisors are trying to put guardrails on it. There's a little bit of a struggle there trying to figure out how can we put guardrails on it.
And what's the latest with MPD using drones and that kind of surveillance?
So they're approved to use drones. They don't use them a lot. And the way they use drones is not in any artificial intelligence facial recognition way. It's just to get basic video. They do use, or they're looking to use Biometrica as facial recognition software. And I don't believe that's been formally advanced yet, but it's definitely coming.
All right. Let's take one more break and we'll come back and wrap up with a couple more stories and what Jeremy Janine is working on this coming week. Stay with us. It's Point Taken.
Hi, this is Joe from Sidex. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who entered our recent giveaway. We were blown away by the response, and it means a lot to us that so many of you participated. Even if you didn't win, I want you to know we're still here for you. At Sidex, helping people love where they live inside and out is what drives us every day. So from all of us at Sidex, thank you for being part of something special. Sidex, love where you live inside and out with windows, doors, baths, and more.
Education changes everything. It opens doors, shapes futures, and builds the foundation for our children's success. At City Forward Collective, we're working to transform our city's schools and ensure every Milwaukee child receives the high-quality education they deserve. We've taken real steps forward, but our work is far from done. This giving season, we're asking you to join us. Together, we can secure a stronger future for our children and a stronger future for Milwaukee. To support our mission, visit cityforwardcollective.org/donate. That's cityforwardcollective.org/donate.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Stormfisher with Stormfisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last?
Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement.
We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
Milwaukee Weight Loss is extending their huge holiday sale with $300 off now through December 26th with the lowest prices of the year on the result-getting Milwaukee Weight Loss program. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. You can start losing those unwanted pounds either before, during, or after the holidays. No more losing weight and gaining it back. You can keep the weight off for good with this program. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scafidi here. I took advantage of the Milwaukee Weight Loss program, lost 45 pounds this year. You can take advantage of the lowest prices of the year with $300 off. But hurry, sale ends on December 26th. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. Call for your free consultation, 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180 or MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, Continental, General, you name it, we got it.
Plus, free flat tire repair, free tire rotations, and more.
So when you're due for tire service, schedule it at richlawns.com.
That's Rich Lawns with 2 N's.
Rich Lawns.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Frigid temperatures impacting southeastern Wisconsin. Warming centers are now open across the city. Last year, those warming centers assisted over 1,500 people, which was a 36% increase.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
And we're seeing delays there as well. 4145, of course, is also a construction zone.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, a couple more minutes with Jeremy and Janine from Urban Milwaukee. You said you have some breaking news for us?
I do, and let's not get too excited.
Okay,
It's nothing earth-shattering, but we have a name for the new Northwestern Mutual Hotel, which is replacing the University Club. We also have an operator for it. It is going to be known as Hotel Laurium. I'm reading from an email they just sent. Hotel Laurium derives from the Latin word laureus, meaning of the laurel, a symbol of victory and honor. The name conveys scholarly achievement and timeless elegance, establishing the hotel as a place where history and modern sophistication converge. This is a 35-room boutique hotel, luxury boutique hotel. They've been clear about that, just north of the Northwestern Mutual campus, overlooking Lake Michigan. And it's going to be operated by Charlestown Hotels, which is a name I'm unfamiliar with. So look for more on that maybe next week.
All right. So it was the University Club, but the renovations aren't done, right? That's just
No, very
started.
much underway. There actually was a big debate about historic preservation standards and this modern entryway they want to put on it.
All right. There you go. All right. A couple minutes, like a minute on restaurants are pleading for patronage.
Yes. Well, this kind of fits in the mold of what Steve's been doing for the past couple of weeks about ways you can improve your community. And Sophie Bolick wrote a great article for Milwaukee kind of summarizing what kind of the mood of the restaurant industry in Milwaukee and some specific restaurants, Heirloom, MKE in Bayview, Strangetown on the east side. I'm trying to make sure I have all the names. McCollin Cafe on the west side. There are a couple other restaurants, all locally owned, Seven Swans Creperie in River West, that are saying, hey, things are really bad for us right now, year over year. We also were banking on, okay, the things are bad in October, maybe they'll improve in November, and instead they got worse. That if you have the opportunity to spend some money going to a restaurant, consider if you're going to the locally owned place, you can do a lot of good by just spending a little, by diverting just some of your spending away from insert national chain X into the local restaurant that's in your neighborhood. Another thing to keep your eye on, restaurants are not only calling panic, but are closing. The National Cafe announced its closure this morning. The National Avenue Business said, hey, things were bad in the summer. We expected things would pick up in the fall. Didn't happen. We're pulling the plug immediately. So tough times.
This is something across this, not only across the city, but I'm guessing nationally as far as just people not eating out as much.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. We were talking in the office, like, is in Milwaukee, are we overextended? Is this a recession indicator? Is it just the natural churn? Like beans and barley is 50 years old. Are things just turning over there? I don't know that we have the answer yet. We know from breweries people are drinking less, that's pinching there. But for restaurants, we don't have the answer yet. But if you like local restaurants, go spend some money at one.
Go spend some money at your local restaurant. I know that I have a couple in our neighborhood that we love to support, especially on snow days, because certainly in January and February are a slow time for bars and restaurants. So if you can support them, please do. All right. We will see you again next week. Jeremy and Janine, as always, thank you for all your insights and your analysis as far as everything that's happening in and around Milwaukee. We'll be back tomorrow with Joe and Bill and Joel Brennan. And then Steve will be back on Monday. So thanks for listening. News is next.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval